Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fsl Mlbb Singapore Malaysia tournament. Remember, this is a knockout, so there will not be any qualifiers. But let's just go through over the prizes, shall we? In third and fourth place, they actually will get 1,000 diamonds. And then in second place, 2,000 diamonds. In first place, 4,000 diamonds. But before we get all that, a big shout out to our official partners as well as sponsors, Dreamcore, Super Solid, as well as Yahoo for making this possible. Not sure if you guys actually missed out on any of the matches. If you have and you are interested to watch it, remember you can head on down to Fsl Mobile, that is on Facebook, and you can actually watch the games that take place. We actually streamed 2 games yesterday. We streamed Team versus the MYAs, and then we also streamed Lilith up against Alphette Gaming. For today, there will actually be 2 games that stream as well. And first off, it's gonna be the first semi-finals is Asterisk up against Alphette Gaming, and then we also have the winner of them is going to be going to the grand finals, and that's going to be a BO5. Remember, before the grand finals is going to be a BO3 throughout. So I'm just going to draw out the brackets coming up on the screen right now. So that is your brackets on the screen, and that is how it's going to look like for now. We're gonna see we actually have an interesting bracket so far because all the teams are too old, so we haven't really seen any team comebacks sort of comeback in the second game. It's all been 2-0 throughout in this best of 3 series, except for the grand finals, which on your screen, as you can see, it's gonna be a BO5. And yeah, I mean, if you look at the teams that in this competition, we have a couple of familiar names. As you know, Asterisk has been around for a really long time. Alphette Gaming, their lineup, I wouldn't say it's the newest. I know a couple of the players as well, so they did really well yesterday. I mean, we saw Mama Gray, who was on her Lunox, and then the lineup kind of just I wouldn't say revolved around her, but Lunox is one of those heroes where you pop off really well because of the Chaos Assault blows that you can deal with at level 4. I mentioned about her not having cooldown, effects at all. So yeah, please just don't build cooldown reduction on Lunox. But yeah, she builds into the lightning wand, and then after that she goes for concentrated energy. But you gotta build that level 3 jungle item for mages as well. So that's something that you have to look at. But yeah, I'm guessing that today's games are definitely going to be a lot more tighter because coming to the semi-finals, all of these teams are pretty much the best of the best in this 2 separate regions, in Singapore and Malaysia. We'll also be having the games for Philippines as well as Myanmar, if I'm not wrong. Yep, it should be those 2 countries that we'll be playing as well. But because due to the COVID-19 situation and a lot of uncertainty regarding the offline games, it's more of a preparation for the teams for the upcoming circuit. So we can't really say for sure regarding to the timing of when the stream is, or rather when the competition will actually begin, because it's been pushed back because of all this COVID-19 madness. And so we'll wait till everything settles down, and that's when we'll take a look at how we can get the competitions running as soon as possible, and we'll announce the dates on social media. So if you haven't followed us on Facebook or Instagram, and do follow us so that we can also keep you guys updated as to when we can keep the whole circuit up and running. But looks like the teams are already ready, so we should be able to go anytime soon. Remember, I mentioned that the game for today, or rather for the first game for today, we'll be playing Asterisk and Alphette, so I'm really excited about that. But we'll go for a short commercial break. When we begin, we'll bring you the first game of the day, so remember to stay tuned to that.
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Alright, so hopefully you guys are already ready because our teams are already up and running, or rather the lobby is already up and running. So let's just jump straight into it, shall we? Alright, there we have it on the screen right now. Asterisk is going to be playing on the blue side, and then we're going to see Alphette Gaming playing on the red. I'm sure you guys who have been catching up with the FSL, or rather the NPL itself, we'll see a couple of familiar names coming in. I mean, we do see Tian, who's part of Notorious Villains. And then, you know, we saw what the side of Alphette Gaming can really do to their opponents yesterday. So hopefully they will keep up this form that they have going for them. Perfect record for them so far, all 2-0 games. So hopefully we will see something a lot tighter. So we do see a Selena as well as a Krufa ban instead of Asterisk, and they are really prioritizing this Valor pick. Like I said, I'm not too surprised as to why Valor got first pick. He's good, decent amount of CC, or rather decent amount of damage. He's got a CC because of his passive, and the best part about Valor is that he's one of the most flexible pick out there, right? You can really flex him out. He can go mid lane as a mage. He's really good as a support. He can actually just play top lane if you want to. You know, Valor top isn't really the most surprising hero out there. Granted, he's not the tankiest hero, but he's still a viable one because he's really good in the 1v1 situation. So it looks like Asterisk is going to pick up the Jawhead. So I'm pretty sure we're going to move Valor into that support role because they pick up the Chow. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a support Chow, or rather a tank Chow, and then we will see Jawhead go top and Valor as the second support. So they're only going to be most likely running Chow as the pure tank, and then, you know, they'll probably pick up a mage as well as a marksman to kind of complete that roll up. But we do see Alphette Gaming banning out the Uranus as well as the carry. We talk about carry, why she's such a good pick. You know, one of the most stable heroes alongside, or the marksman alongside Granger. A little bit different compared to Bruno, because Bruno and Granger are more similar to one another compared to carry, because they're both really good from early to late game, because of the mechanics and how the kit allows them to come online the moment the game begins. You know, they have the crit, they don't really need too much farm to stay relevant, but you know, you leave them alone for a couple of few minutes, and suddenly when they pop up into the next team fight, and it really hurts them, rather hurts because of that crit damage. But they will pick up a Diggy as well as a Grok, which I do like. It does set up for a top laner, and it looks like Xbox is going to be in the ban out the Granger as well. So they recognize the fact that Asterisk need a marksman. They take out 2 of the most potent marksmen available to them, but that leaves the 1-1 open, and yes, Asterisk will go in for the lockdown, and they pick up a Camilla. And wow, okay, so it's a Valor mid. Okay, if I'm not wrong about that, it's gonna be Camilla support, and then they'll probably run 1-1 down the bot lane alongside either the Jawhead or the Chow. I mean, if you look at Asterisk's lineup, they have so much options available to them, right? You've got you can practically run anyone at top other than Camille and 1-1, and then over the side of Alphette Gaming, it's a lot more straightforward. So I'm sure, if I'm not too wrong about that, it's gonna be a it's tough to say, but I will definitely root for a Camilla mid, maybe a mid or support.
Welcome to Mobile Legends.
we'll see.
5 seconds.
But I
till
think
the
Valor
enemy
mid
reaches
should
the
be the best, and then
battlefield.
you put
Smash
either the
them.
Jawhead or Chow on top.
All troops deployed.
But always Alphette Gaming definitely a lot more straightforward. Lunox down in mid, and you have the Grox that's supporting her in mid lane. While you have the Xbox that's probably going to play top. You have the Digi and the Bruno who's going to be in the jungle right now. But I'm pretty sure that's going to be going to the bot lane anytime soon. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty even draft per se. I do prefer Asterisk draft because of the Valor. As well as the 1-1 which coming into the late game. I don't see anyone really having an answer to it because of the lack of CC. Yes, they do have Digi's time reversal and and all that, but they don't really have someone that can really catch on to the 1-1. If the 1-1 is left to farm for too long, that might become an issue for Alphette Gaming to deal with. So they have to capitalize on the fact that they have a Bruno as well as a Digi who can dish out damage early game, and once that Lunox hits level 4, they need to start rotating around the map. I mean, really put the pressure to make sure that Asterisk do not have the space for 1-1 to get into the late game status that they want to. But for now, it looks like everything is fine. Don't really see too much of a rotation. We do see Alphette Gaming trying to press the issue down in the top lane. Nothing that Irene can really do by her own flame shot coming up from Grok. Neil picks her up, and that's gonna be the first lane coming up. So they're doing the right thing right here. They want to put the focus onto the lanes, put a lot of pressure onto whatever lane they can, and looks like top lane is gonna be it. Turtles coming up in 50 seconds, and the right call for Asterisk right now is to either take a team fight here with the Valor nearly hitting level 4, either that or put pressure on bot. So it looks like they want to push a little bit into jungle with that Valor. Don't think they can really do too much, especially with the Grok around there. Spoke about the power of nature as well as the wall charge, which he's already hit on that hit at level 4. So timing all right for Kimiko. Hello, definitely does have to worry about position a little bit. Let's take a bit of damage from those flame shots. Gonna set up those I want to call it free vision with the auto alarm bombs, because you do get you do know when the opponent is in there when your bomb does go to the opponent. As Alphette gonna be pushing down the bottom. It's like quite a peaceful lane, I would say, for both Shah and Alphette. I mean, both of them are playing that sort of that off laner role, I would say. Mickey currently in mid, trading blow for blow on both ends. So Turtles coming up right now, and whoever's gonna be winning that next team fight will definitely have a little bit of the advantage. You can see, Asterisk, they want to clear up this red bar before taking any sort of a fight. Looks like we're gonna see Asterisk like a little bit behind in terms of objectives. I mean, I did mention about Alphette Gaming and how they should be pressuring the lanes, and this is what they're doing so well. We can see them now trying to force something in the bot lane. They know the threat of the 1-1 is beyond that 10th minute mark, and now they're forcing in Xbox. Xbox going to be using that last insanity to clear those waves. Meanwhile, we're going to see Asterisk do the right thing, right? Push the other lanes, give up the bot lane, but take up those two, and now they can even look to take one more mid if they want to. That's gonna be tier 2 for them. I'm not sure if someone from the side of Alphette Gaming can come back in time. It looks like they're not. They want to force that bot lane take though, so it's gonna be quite a decent trade. That's gonna be the first blood coming in for first from the bottom lane. nothing really much to shout right there, just forcing their way through. Chow nearly getting that top lane, but we do see them going for the turtle. I'm not sure if Alphette Gaming do want to contest this. They do get spotted out. Kimiko already quarter HP gone. Last Insanity will allow the Xbox to take up, and here we go. Way of the Dragon kicks Mei back into there, and here comes Diggy to save him with the ultimate, and Mei's gonna get out there just fine. Really good trade-off, I would say, for Alphette Gaming, because not only do they take the turtle, but they don't lose anyone, right? They practically traded blow for blow with Asterisk, and they didn't really lose the top tower. Yes, they had to push a little bit down the bot lane, had to a bit of gamble, but now we do see Camille coming right in. Last Insanity up again, and they might bring 10 down as well. Camille dropping really low. Yes, they do get it. A good wall coming off of the Grog will trap the Valor, but they do lose the Grog as well as the Xbox for it. I wouldn't say that's too much of a loss, because Bruno's farming right now. Mickey taking quite a bit of those shots coming in. One more shot might do the trick, but she does get out just in time. So I think that was a little bit too late. But for now, it looks like Alphette Gaming will resume business as usual, pushing down those lanes after that team fight, which I gotta say, Asterisk Gaming did a good job at managing their loss there. Yes, they did lose both the Valor as well as the Camille, but they're not really the worst heroes to really lose in team fight. I mean, it could have gotten so much better. It could have lost the 1-1, but this time around, Tian once again taking a lot of damage. I think Bruno uses ultimate there, and I'm not sure if Diggy had to use the ultimate, but Halo definitely do wants to keep her team alive, so I'm sure it's just better be safe than sorry. But that's no Diggy ultimate for 30 seconds, which means Chow can look to get someone. Irene's already gotten her Blade of Despair. I'm not sure if she can actually kill the Xbox here, and they might. She has immortality, but that's gonna burn away one charge of immortality. Doesn't matter though. Mid lane still trading blow for blow on both ends. 1-1 dropping really low, and that's gonna be the brutal ultimate right there. They get down 10 as well. That's 2 heroes down, and the only thing that they really lose in that fight, it's gonna be the Xbox on the bot lane against Chow. Small price to pay, I would guess, but they do manage to finally get that mid tier 1. They do lose the tier 2 on the top side. Asterisk doing a good job at managing the losses, like I mentioned in the first half of the game. As long as they can get Mickey up to speed, right? If you look at itemization right now, she's already building in her Demon Hunter sword. She'll probably go into the golden stuff ASAP, but she's already got the damage base down. Once she gets the Demon Hunter sword finished, that's where she comes out online. She can get those weakness stacks up with the weakness the finder, and then once those stacks come up, she can use the ultimate, and that's where she's ready to go. She can basically do a lot of damage. Jawhead now locking on to Jawhead. Alrighty, the Xbox tries to go for the toss, but Shah doing a good job by flickering away. Tries to use the last Insanity, but not gonna find anyone. Meanwhile, mid lane Tian once again being targeted by the rest of Alphette Gaming. She might just go down there. Yes, she does, but Jawhead comes in a little bit too late, and now they must back out. Bubble Tea, Alphette Gaming have to be careful about chasing this one down. They are really low, and that's gonna be a double kill for the side of Bubble Tea. Good job as well. And now Irene looking to power even more misery onto Alphette Gaming. They will have to back off, but that is a good fight from Asterisk, considering the fact that they already lost Tian early into the fight. A good pick off. They threw everything down to her, and that's the danger of trying to chase down a Valor. If you're not managing those fights well, right, and you're chasing him down, he's just gonna burn you out with those shots, with those fireball shots. So you gotta make sure you know, you don't chase a Valor without having those get close. And if you look at the lineup on the side of Alphette Gaming, like I said, they don't really have someone that has the CC needed to catch on. Yes, they have the time reversal, which they use on Tian to catch the Camilla out of place, but other than that, they don't really have something to lock that down. A good pick off on the bot lane, but still, they need to catch that 1-1. Looks like both sides are coming to a standstill for now. 10 minutes in, about to reach the 11th mark. We do have Alphette Gaming, who's slightly above in terms of goal lead. You know, they have that 2k goal lead, rather that 1.4k goal lead going on for now. Lord coming up anytime now. It's gonna be Asterisk scouting the area, making sure it's clear. This is where 1-1 is gonna be really scary, because if she can get those stacks off, that's gonna cause quite a bit of problem for Alphette Gaming. Mickey completing that Demon Hunter sword like I mentioned. So Alphette Gaming doing all the right thing. They're checking all those brushes, making sure that there's no one nearby, but they're just not running to anyone. Kimiko now starting up that power of nature, does that spin, gets a good lockdown. They get the spin off. Diggy using the ultimate to make sure the team comes up. They manage to bring down the Valor. They might bring down even more. 1-1 now, getting those stacks on it. They do get Kimiko off the board. But May now still up and running. Chow comes in, blows him up with the Chikundo, and Irene now going to town, still has the ultimate to deal with, doesn't even need it. That's it. They catch out Mama Grey, and now they're going for the Diggy. I don't think Daphne can go anywhere, because they should be able to get. It's gonna be almost, it's as good as a team wipe. I mean, Xbox wasn't there, but you know, I'm sure that even if the Xbox was there, there wasn't really much that she could have done. Now, can Diggy do anything here? That one damage, you gotta believe as a D, you know, they're not gonna contest for the lot. It's gonna go all to Asterisk. I mentioned, guys, I mentioned chat, I mentioned about Mickey, as well as, you know, the threat of 1-1 not having the lockdown needed. That's gonna be the cause of the game, and I just don't see anything that, you know, the side of Alphette Gaming have to catch out that 1-1. Yes, they have the damage, you know, with the Lunox as well as the Xbox and the Bruno, but they don't have the CC needed to go into the backline. They're aiming Tian, you know, they're taking down the Jaw hit, you know, they're bringing down the Valor. But if you don't bring down the 1-1, that's where, you know, the moment she gets those weakness stacks up, she pulls off her ultimate, then that's where you're gonna see the damage really start to lay out. Pretty sure they should be able to secure this tier 3. That's gonna be a lot rush onto tier 3. Last Insanity gonna be used right here, so Shah has to be careful. Immortality already up and running, but look at that, with one Lord they take not only the top, but I'm pretty sure that's gonna be the bottom tower as well. Chow now locking down the Diggy, does manage to use the Way of the Dragon to kick Diggy all the way out of base. And now they want to go for more. Tian leading the front line with the lifesteal. Valor now locking them down with those fireball shots. Irene gonna be securing that bottom tier 3 tower. A lot of major items coming up right now on both sides. We do see a corrosive scythe onto the Chow, just to, you know, further add onto the slow. And then you also have a Fleeting Time coming out with Hollow Daphne, which is really important because you want to get the time reversal as fast as possible, because that's their only way out if the child does land a CC on them. And you can see Asterisk just doing all the right things right now, right? Just, you know, making sure to stuff them out of the jungle farm. Jawhead's being a pain in the neck in the top side. I'm sure that's a little bit of an overextension. Yes, she does have immortality, but that was a little bit unneeded from this side of the Jawhead, right? A little bit of an overextension that's going to cost them 30 seconds without a Jawhead. Lord coming up in 61 seconds, but that's fine, right? Even without the Jawhead, they can still put pressure on the lanes, push them out, you know, wait for the Lord to come up. And I would love to see, you know, Asterisk not push out the waves. The reason being why, because, you know, when you don't push out the waves, that means the creeps are frozen in mid lane, and that just sets up so much trap potential from Asterisk, because when the side of Alphette Gaming wants to come up and farm, they can actually just, you know, go for a gank, or just go onto the Ant-Man when he's straggling, when she's straggling behind compared to the rest of the team. They do spot out the Xbox down in the bottom lane, and looks like they're gonna start things off with a couple of flame shots. They're gonna burn the second immortality away from Shah as well. That's not gonna help, even with the ultimate, and Irene might face the same trouble. That's gonna be oh, she does pick up the speed buff. It's gonna allow her to go right past the wall. Meanwhile, mid lane, we do see Hello Daphne picking up the courage mask. That's gonna help them with a bit of mobility with the next team fight. But we do see Alphette Gaming already lagging behind in terms of objectives. We do see the Lord getting taken out, no contest. Kimiko trying to come in with the wild charge, but I'm pretty sure that's gonna be an easy kill with Mickey and the Demon Hunter sword she has on the 1-1. Straightforward so far, and looks like the Lord's gonna come up on the top side. Asterisk, all they have to do is just wait for the Lord here, and if they do not make a mistake, this pretty much is gonna be the GG push coming in. I mean, they've already gotten the super minions on both the top and bottom lane, and because of the Lord, they get another wave down the middle. See a lot of damage already coming off the Valor. They might be able to bring down the 1-1 here, and that might just have been the saving grace. But Lord still at half HP. Irene struggling to get off the base, and they still trying to end the game right there. But they do manage to secure the tier 3 tower, but a little bit of an overextension coming up from Mickey. She does sacrifice her life for it, and that is just one more. I gotta say, Alphette Gaming just bought themselves one more team fight. Growing one coming up for Bubble Tea right now. She has gotten most of her itemizations right. I would say Ice Cream 1. She's gonna win the truncheon just in case, you know, she does get caught out. Yeah, if you realize, this Alphette Gaming do recognize the threat in the Valor. So they have been constantly trying to target Valor as well as those soft support. Once again, they might be able to just get her just in time, burning both the immortality. That window truncheon is not going to help her for too long. They do find one more knockoff, and a little bit of a split push coming out from Irene, just waiting for the last wave of creeps to come in. I'm not sure if they can defend in time. Yes, it is. The backdoor will come in. Sneaky play coming up from Asterisk.
Victory!
And what a play that was. If you look at the scoreboards on the screen, it was pretty even in terms of scores, right? Yeah, look at that, both with 12 kills, nothing really standing between them. Objective wise, you know, I think Alphette Gaming did really well in the first half of the game. They really pressurized as much as they could, but like I said, the one thing that I realized, or rather if the viewers are realizing as well, is that they didn't really have much CC. They don't really have something to do with the 1-1. Granted, they have these second skill, but with the time reversal, or the reverse time, you can only catch up one target, right? It's not an AoE stun. They don't really have something that can really lock down the 1-1. And yes, they did manage to find her a couple of times, but that was just because Asterisk was just being really aggressive. They wanted to end the game right there, so they managed to catch the 1-1 out of position. But other than that, in most of the team fights, they don't really have they either lack the damage to burst down the 1-1 because they were too focused on either the Valor or the Camille, but when it came down to the last few team fights, you could see Miki was just keeping her distance, laying all those stacks on the Kimiko, who's playing the Grok, and then once she gets her ultimate up, it's pretty much the team fight going in Asterisk's favor. So yeah, I mean, that being said, that was really close. You gotta give props to both sides. It was, I gotta say, close to a certain degree. Alphette Gaming did all the right things in the first half of the game. They went for objectives, they put in pressure, trying to stop Miki from getting the late game, trying to stop the 1-1 from getting a farm, but it was just not enough. You could see, with the Valor, it's just proven to be too much of a damage, especially not only in team fights, but when you're trying to go for the chase, when you're trying to finish Asterisk off, he can just push you away with those flames and then just do damage. And on top of it, they have a flame shot, which scales with magical damage, so that flame shot from Valor is going to hurt even more than any other character on Asterisk lineup. So we'll go for a short maybe 5 minutes break, but when we're back, hopefully we'll see something better for Alphette. I think it's really down to the draft, which they will be on blue side this time round, so hopefully things will change for the better for them. But when we're back, we'll bring you game 2 between Asterisk and Alphette Gaming.
Blessed ancestors! I was saved by a Valkyrie! I guess this day ain't so bad after all!
We can't let Aurora Heart lose control.
Aye, aye, ma'am! At last, Aurora Heart is mine! Captain Bane, reign supreme!
Bane must be stopped! For our homeland, our ancestors, and the living, we will not stop fighting the evil. I am the daughter of Northern Vale, and I swear to protect it till my last breath.
Alright, so it looks like we are about to begin Game 2 between Asterisk and Alpha Gaming. If you missed out Game 1, you can check out the VODs, but just an update, you know, surprise, surprise, Asterisk managed to win Game 1 in the first game itself. So let's just jump straight into the draft because the players are already in it. Alright, so there we go. Currently on your screen, we got Alpha Gaming swapping sides with Asterisk. That we're playing on the blue side, and the Asterisk playing on the red. It looks like we've got the Uranus as well as the Chow getting banned out. So Alpha Gaming kind of realized, okay, you know what, the Chow is a little bit too much to deal with. Let's take her out of the picture. But like I said, I think Chow is only one of the issues which they really had dealing into the draft. Yes, you know, you can win the early game because of the damage potential coming out from the Bruno as well as the Grog and Diggy. You know, you have a lot of early game damage, but you know, coming to the late game, you kind of lack that AoE damage that you kind of need to actually take those team fights. A lot of single damage as well coming off the Lunox, but like I said, AoE damage wise, it's kind of lacking. I think the main issue they kind of faced was the 1-1 because of the lack of CC, and on top of it, I kind of forgot to mention as well. If you think about it, you know, 1-1 also has, you know, CC immunity from the second skill, not CC immunity, but she's able to kind of remove CC with needles and flowers. I think that's how the skill is called. So on top of it, you also do AoE damage, I believe, physical damage, 60% of the physical attack, so that's quite a bit to deal with. You also reduce movement speed, so all in all, you know, 1-1 is just a really good hero in team fights. And you know, needless to say, once she gets those stacks up because of her Tiger Pace passive, she just throws out down her ulti and she becomes a really monster to deal with. But yeah, coming back to the draft, we do see the Valor as well as the Grog pickup. So still focusing on the Valor, which I really like. We did see quite a bit of an issue regarding, you know, how Alphette Gaming, when it came down to them trying to chase down the Valor, that was a bit of an issue that they kind of faced because of the fireball shots. On top of it, the flame shots, which is hurting quite a bit. Did you pick up the Buxia as well as the Jawhead, which are two of the heroes that they really like to focus around coming into yesterday's draft when they were playing against their oppositions? So I guess those two are just comfort heroes. It remains to be seen whether or not they will still go for the Lunox, because I feel like at this current patch and meta, there just isn't enough damage on Lunox to carry teams in the late game. Yes, you have the Chaos Assault Barrage in the first half of the game, which is really good for a single target, but in the late game where everyone has some sort of a lot of HP to deal with, you don't have enough damage to kind of just break the whole team down. You can take someone out, maybe one or two, but it's just not enough in team fights. Nevertheless, it looks like we're gonna see Asterisk ban out the Lunox, and I'm pretty sure they might just pick up the MM right here. I mean, Granger's still open for pick. You know, Granger's just does really well, but you know, you really see Carry being picked out. They've really got no more bans, so they can kind of just leave it to the last pick. They'll secure the Leomod before anything else. Leomod, this is a pick, you know. If you summon the Steed, you can kind of just chase down the Carry, which I do like. I don't think Carry is, or rather I don't think she's able to get out of range of the Leomod. And on top of it, you also have the CC coming up from the Sylvana. So that is also another avenue where, you know, if Sylvana's able to get onto the carry, that might cause a bit of a problem. But you know, for the Alphette, you know, they learn from the mistakes, you know, regroup from game 1. They've got decent amount of CC now with the Nana, as well as, you know, picking up the Kufra. You've got the Jawhead toss. So I think it's a lot better in terms of it's well more balanced. So yep, it looks like Granger is gonna be the final pick. Kind of straightforward there. Both sides drafts are pretty even, I would say, early game. But if you really go on late game, like really late game, I gotta give it to Asterisk. I think early game wise, we might see a bit of a draw because both sides are pretty even in terms of damage output, but I don't really see you know, Alphette being able to deal with that late game damage potential coming out. It's good that they have the carry, which is kind of like a reverse situation to what we had in game 1, where, you know, if the 1-1 gets to late game, and this time around it's the carry. If carry gets to late game, then yes, she becomes really scary. And you know, you also have the Bucks here as well as the Kufal, which is good enough. I want to give it to... I know I kind of give it to Asterisk just because of the Valor. I gotta be honest, I'm kind of biased here. You know, I really love Valor a lot. I think Valor is just too much to deal with, not only from early but down to the late game. If he skills decently, then he might have a bit of trouble. You know what? I'm just gonna call it out here. I think in terms of early game, Asterisk have better early game potential because of the Granger as well as the Valor. But coming to the late game, I think Alphette can do it if they can get the carry up to speed. I think they should be good. Yeah, they should be able to put out enough damage. I mean, this is how I see the fight going down, right? You got a carry who should be able to catch onto the Grog. The only issue I see with is carry is not exactly the longest range marksman out there. Good steal coming from me, but coming back to the point, she's not exactly like Granger or Bruno, or you know, she's not like a 1-1 who's able to keep a distance. Yes, she's a marksman and she's ultimately still a range marksman, but you know, she doesn't really have a really long range. She needs to stay, she still needs to stay quite close. And that's where I think it's a bit scary for a carry to play in this game, because if you look at the opposing side, right, you have you have a Valor, you have a Sylvana, you have a Leomord, you have a Grog, and I haven't even put Miki, who's playing the Granger, into place, where you know, if the carry is in a really bad spot just because she wants to get those stacks in and do damage, she might just get caught out. But all this is just hypothesis, right? Because when it comes down to a team fight, it's gonna get messy, it's gonna get gritty. But I'm just gonna call it here. If Mei doesn't keep a distance away from the lineup of Asterisk, she could be in for a bad time. And Shah over here taking quite a bit of shots coming from Tian. She's gonna dive right in with the Croc. Gonna see Death Sonata come up from the Granger as well to secure the Q. They're gonna trade up, they're gonna trade objectives right here. First blood for Asterisk, but they do lose their bomb tower. Nothing Leomord can do. I gotta commend Alpha Gaming for the objective game. Like, they are so focused on taking that. They have to get that tier 1 tower on the offlaner's lane, which is a really good objective to focus on. And I like Asterisk's strategy as well. They like to go like for 2 fighters. In this case, you know, in the first game they went for Chow, they went for Jawhead, and then in this game they are going for the Sylvana as well as the Leomord. So I wouldn't say it's too greedy, because at the end of the day, they are heroes which can push really well on either sides of the lane of the map, and that kind of drags the opposition out of place, right? If you don't pay too much attention to either offlaner, they go into the late game, they become really scary, and now they're gonna contest for the red buff. Pretty sure they're gonna steal it right here. They're gonna give it to Valor, not exactly the hero that they want to, but it's still fine. On the other side of the map though, they do manage to pick up a Jawhead, which is good. They do lose a lot for it, but it's not the biggest price to pay, because they still slow down the carries farm, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna secure this tier 1 tower in the bot lane. Oh, they might even get carry here, and yes, they will. They do burn the stit for it, but hey, it's better to secure the Q than walk away with nothing. They will also, I'm pretty sure they will secure that tier 1 tower in the bot lane. Now Valor's gonna join back onto the fight. Look at that, the AoE damage coming from the Valor. They're gonna secure it through Tian. They nearly got the Bucks here as well, but they do lose the Leomord, which is not the ideal situation. That being said, they will still follow through with the tier 1 tower in the bot lane. Just this lens coming out. And this is gonna be an interesting matchup. I mean, between the Sylvana and the Jawhead, I mean, both it's a case of both heroes not being able to kill each other, but now coming in, oh, that's good, coming in for the Boxyak, does manage to get the knockdown. They get not only Valor but the Grok, and now they want to jump back in, and here we go, Tyrant's Madness coming in, getting a 2-man stun, and not only do they get those 2 kills, they get a triple kill onto the carry, which is always nice to have. And that's gonna negate any loss whatsoever they had in the first half of the game, right? They are still the first half game, but the first half coming into this 4 minutes mark. Tian gotta be careful but not diving in too deep. She does give up a life for it. They nearly go for Nana, but she's got the Molina's gift, which allows her to get out just in time. Irene now diving in the backline. That's getting double kill. Gets a shutdown onto the carry as well. Will eventually go down after taking too many turret shots right there. Asterisk, they're just keeping their opponents really close. Even when they lost that team fight, just a minute ago they lost 4 members at the top, and now they just turned back everything, and now they are ahead by 1k 5 minutes in. Char taking quite a bit of damage. We'll have to burn the flicker for it. Meanwhile, Char still in that stalemate. But because of the diversion in mid, now you got Sylvana pushing on top. And this is where I mentioned about the 2 split pushers over the 2 off laners. They're just split pushing time and time again. Look at that. Because of that 3-man call in mid, you know, you have the Grok and the Valor sitting on the Granger. They have enough damage and CC to take any fight, even the 4v3. And you have 2 off laners that's pushing onto top and bottom. They're just pulling Alphette Gaming apart. That being said, I think Alphette Gaming still can win this game if they pull into late game because of the damage potential coming from the carry. Bot lane though, a little bit of drama going on. Mei taking quite a bit of damage. Irene really wants this, even uses the sleep for it, but they will get Kimiko as a consolation prize. And I'm sure they also want to secure this tier 2 tower in the bot lane. And just like that, rinse and repeat. Sylvana's really pushing on to the mid lane, so that's gonna deny any sort of aggression coming up from Alphette Gaming. I gotta say, at this point, like, Asterisk is just purely winning based on rotation. Like, I think I saw an ultimate coming out from the Kufa right there, but not really catching anyone significant. And Bubble Tea getting stunned up by... What was that? The Joy gets blown up. Raspberry coming up for Mickey. And she will just instantly blow up the Jawhead. That's gonna be an easy kill. They get... I mean, we saw Shah going onto Bubble Tea, nearly getting killed onto Valor right there, but it's just not enough. Maybe a couple more seconds that she could have gotten him, but the stun came in from the Valor, and this is why I say Valor is such an important call. Like, I feel like Valor is still pretty underrated. There was a period of time where MPL, especially in Indonesia as well as the SGMY MPL players were constantly playing Valor, but right now, I mean, the focus kind of shifts away from them, but still he's such a strong hero to deal with, or rather to play with, depending on which end of the team you're looking at. But in a couple of minutes, just a minute ago I was just saying that they had their 1k goal lead. Now it's 7k goal lead. Asterisk leading by 7k, even though they've only got 3 more kills. That objective, like every single time they get 2 to 3 kills, they're taking 2 to 3 towers from the top, from the mid of one bottom lane. And you can see them starting to ramp up pretty scarily right now. I mean, look at items they have on board. Blade of Despair already up. Probably see Endless Battle coming up onto the Granger, just to lower down the cooldown. Mama Grey picking up the Glowing Wand. Huge gamble from Alphette Gaming. to actually pick up the Nana as a main core mage. And look at that, Granger's just dealing so much damage from the Death Sonata, and now Grog gonna be using the Wild Charge as well to pick up another kill. Krufa going down really quickly. They do lose Irene, but I'm sure that is more than enough damage that they would have wanted to do. So decent damage onto the middle tower. They also get 3 kills on the Kimiko, Sha, and Hello Daphne. And the only reason why Mama Grey didn't really go down there is because of Melina's gift. I think they could have gotten her if Mama Grey was out of position, but you know, it's better than nothing. You know, you got 3 kills, you do decent damage to the middle tier 3s. I would have loved to see them set up a bit right there, right? Wait for the carry to go for the red buff and then just blow her up, but you know, the Krufa and Jawhead are nearby, so I guess it's better to just get the steal off. They're gonna stack both the blue and red buff onto the Granger. Leonward does manage to pick up the Queen's Wing as well, so that's gonna provide a bit of sustain as well as a I would say longevity, but that's a little bit too far in terms of description. Jawhead now does manage to find the Sylvana, but they're taking quite a bit to burn them down. Now Valor joining out onto the fight. Bubble Teas locking down the Krufa, burning both the flashes. So that is no flash, or rather no flicker, for the next 110 seconds on both the Jawhead and Krufa. And that's the issue with the draft that, you know, Alpha Gaming have to deal with. Look at Asterisk's draft. Like, every single one of the heroes, especially the Valor, have really low cooldown. Right? They can blow every single one of the skill, and 30 seconds later, they can go at it again. Flickers available on both Irene and Mickey, which means that they can really dive for the carry or even the Nana if they want to. Meanwhile, 70 more seconds on Sha and Hello Daphne's flicker. And they're setting up a bait right now. So we really can't see the buff timer coming up, but I'm pretty sure that Sha will go down here. Look at that, instantly gets blown up. Didn't really even need to dive too much for it. Irene taking quite a bit of damage from the tower. We'll have to burn the flicker as well. But Lord's coming up into the middle lane in about 10 seconds. And they're gonna start all things off by putting pressure on the bot lane. They stun up the Krufa, nearly one more shot. Yes, they will pick it up, has immortality. And we'll pick up the Curse Helmet as well, but it could be GG right now. Asterisk looking to end things right here. Nana forced to use the ultimate, not really landing on anyone significant. Granger's gonna just casually blow the Bucks here up. They're gonna knock up the Krufa. Not even a chance to defend this, and Asterisk will take this one 2-0. And they are your first
Victory!
grand finalists. So, I gotta say, this is definitely way more one-sided compared to the previous game where we saw Alpha Gaming do really well with, you know, objectives. At least they were, you know, trying to get those early game towers, doing really well in terms of pushing Asterisk back, delaying a little bit. But this time around, it's just a blowout, right? You see Asterisk just from the get-go with the Valor, with the Granger, and this is what I mentioned. Like, if they can reach the late game, Alpha Gaming might be able to get the carry, or the main on the carry might be able to, you know, carry the game. But you know, Asterisk, they know the strength of the draft. They know that they have the Valor, they have this Granger combo, which means they can stick with this tricore, right? You have the Grok, you have the Valor, as well as the Granger, who are really good in early game because of their kit, because of the CC that they have in the Valor, because of the wild charge they have when, you know, Tian reached level 4. And that's what they did. They rotated in trees. They let the Sylvana as well as the Leomod push the opposite ends, and that just dragged Alpha Gaming out of position. They had absolutely no answer to the rotation. They had no answer to how they could deal with the split pushers coming out. And when it came down to team fight, once again, this time around they had enough CC, but they were just lacking in terms of damage. So in the first game, it was a case of Alphette Gaming not having enough CC. In the second game, they just didn't have enough time on the carry to carry them into late game. So that being said, congratulations to Asterisk. They are your first grand finalists of the day. We also are waiting on the results on Team as well as Dreams, and the winner of that is going to face Asterisk to try to get that first place 4,000 diamonds. That's a lot. I wish I had that. Definitely do not want it. I definitely want to participate in that, but you know, it's FSL, so I can't. With that being said, let's go for a short break, but when we are back, we'll bring you the grand finals, which is going to be a BO5. So hopefully there's going to be a challenger to Asterisk Rampage for in the FSL for the SG and MY competition. Remember, there is no lead up to this. It's only a one-off tournament. It's just to prepare the players for the circuit and make sure that, you know, these girls are ready when that circuit comes down. So we'll go for a short break, but when we are back, we'll give you the grand finals and more MLBB.
The warm feel of my passion burning! Woohoo! You feel that? Hey, very nice kick! I'm on top of the world!
Killing spree! Mega kill!
You feel that? Ha!
You have slain an enemy! Launch attack! Legendary!
Ha!
Double kill!
Ha!
Legendary!
I'm on top of the world! Hey!
First blood!
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Blast him, Harden! I'm gonna slaughter that pumpkin Franco myself! Time to look alive, lads! Let's send Bane and his freaks back to the bottom of the sea! I can't bloody smell!
My suffering brothers and sisters, you will be free.
Blimey, that's Aurora Heart! Boys, we've got a big booty to take!
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being patient, and we are back with the Fsl Mlbb Sg competition. Quite a mouthful, but before we begin the game, a big shout out to Dreamcall, Super Solid, and Yahoo for being our official partners and sponsors for this competition itself. It looks like all teams are already ready, so let's jump straight in. Remember, this is going to be the grand finals, which means it's going to be a best of 5. And right now we're going to see the Selena and Diggy ban out from Asterisk. So they're banning out all these pesky supports. Meanwhile on Dream side they ban out the Grog and Valor, which in my opinion, it's a lot better this time around. You know, banning out the Valor is really important. If they have been watching the stream, they were playing their games as well, but if, you know, they had the opportunity to quickly go to watch back the stream to see the draft that the opponents played, they were seeing that Valor was a really important call for Asterisk. That was the reason why the draft really worked for them. But yeah, looks like they're gonna be picking out the carry and the jaw hit. So they're going to deny the jaw hit away from Asterisk. At the same time, they also pick up the carry. And Asterisk is just gonna settle for the Uranus as well as the Kufa. And they pick up the Chow. So really tanky lineup from Asterisk, which is what I really like. Although there is a Sylvana pick from Dreams, which will set up into both teams not having the, or rather Asterisk not having the MM. So if I'm Asterisk at this point in time, I should be looking to actually ban out the... I mean, there's a lot of heroes that they can actually ban out. I would suggest banning out a mage. So something like a Lunox. I think banning out a Lunox or a Harif would be pretty good. Although, you know, if you look at the draft right now, they don't really have to worry about those two. So they ban out the Farsa, which I completely forget about Farsa. That's my mistake on my part. I think Farsa is still quite viable. You know, you do get quite a bit of output in terms of damage from her. She's really good early game. You have, you know, her second skill, which allows her to go past the walls, and that's just something that I should not have forget about. I can't believe I actually forgot about the Farsa. But with that being said, it looks like it's down to Dreams to ban out. I think Granger would be a good ban, but they ban on Sicilian, which is pretty... I gotta say, pretty surprising. I would have guessed to ban out the Granger, either the Granger or the Bruno, because both heroes would actually fit in the Asterisk draft really well. I think Granger would be a better fit here, because it does give them the distance needed to still damage the Sylvana. You know, she's still able. I think 1-1's fine as well, but you know, if you look at the draft coming up on Dreams, I think Granger is just a better pick instead of 1-1, because you know, if you pick up a 1-1, she doesn't really have someone to stack other than the jaw hit, but jaw hit is definitely going to be jumping right into her, toss her right back into her teammates, which then would be really bad. And then you got Sylvana with the lockdown, which means that even if she uses a second skill to negate one of the CCs, she's still going to get stunned up. I think Granger is just a better pick because of the range. You know, they have a more balanced draft in terms of, you know, having those two off laners deal the damage for her or the front line for her, and then she still has the Kufa in front to soak up the damage. She can do damage from afar, doesn't really have too much to worry about getting caught out. They pick up the Aurora to complete their lineup, which is really good. You know, Aurora's CC is just generally good overall. Dream's gonna pick up the Nana as well as the high loss. I like this. I like the fact that they go for the high loss, because you know I mentioned about Asterisk being able to keep the distance, so they pick up the high loss. You know, you have the glorious pathway. It does help with engaging and disengaging depending on how you look at it. So this time around, both sides are pretty, I wouldn't say it's balanced, but in a way I think Dreams can do serious damage if they can, you know, get the carry up to speed. It's always the same thing, right? Jerry and Marksman, you're picking whether it's the carry, whether it's the 1-1, you're gonna get them to late game compared to, you know, pick up a Bruno and a Granger, which can come online early into the first 5 minutes of the game.
Smash them. All troops deployed.
So there we have it. Asterisk going to be playing on the blue side. Dream's going to be playing on the red. So far, both teams are pretty dominant in their lineup, or rather in their run-up coming into this competition. Both teams having 2-0s throughout the knockout stages. You got Irene doing decent damage onto the Sylvana compared to the Jawhead leaning up against her, where we saw, you know, Alphette Gaming putting the Jawhead against the Sylvana. I think, you know, Chao just does so much more against, you know, heroes like that, where you have a CC, you have a Chikundo, and then when she hits that level 4, she's just gonna blow that Sylvana up. I think Uranus is a really good pick in this sense. You can see why Alphette Gaming chose to ban out the Uranus, because he's just gonna be such a hero, it's just gonna be such a pain to deal with, especially in a 1v1 where she has a decent amount of not only damage output, but she's not exactly the easiest hero to kill. So Joy definitely doing really well with the toss. Gonna make that Uranus soak up a bit of those shots. So they do spot out, you know, 4 heroes onto the top lane, which means they can kind of pressure the bottom side. And you know, they have really good game sense. I mean, Asterisk on their part. There's a reason why Tian is one of the NPL players to look out for as well, because you have the Crewfire that's coming to the top against alongside the Chao, and that's gonna slow down the push coming up from Dreams. But they're doing an absolute good job at charging this one out. Glorious Pathway lands down as well, just to chase onto them. They want Tian, they will get her, but now here comes the rest of the cavalry, and Mickey's just in the midst of it all. Not the place you want to be as a Granger, and Dreams just doing a fantastic job at getting not only the 3 kills, but they might get even get the top tower, which I'm pretty sure once they clear up the jungle, they will go for it. A really good engagement coming up from the side of Dreams. I didn't expect them to go for such a ballsy move right there. You know, going in, dropping the Glorious Pathway, forcing the engagement, and then getting those 3 kills on the board. A bit of a misplay coming up from Mickey as well. Like I said, you know, positioning wise, a bit questionable. You don't want your Granger in the middle of it all. I think they saw the damage output coming up from the Death Sonata as well as the Rhapsody, and they thought, you know what, we can just go in for the kill. But that was a little bit of a miscalculation. Like I said, Uranus has a lot of doing what a Uranus should be doing, but not sure if she's looking at the map. She's probably going to give up a life right here. Carrie's going to secure it. In the meantime, Asterisk will trade that off by taking away the turtle. Queen actually wanted to spot them out, but was actually chased with a child. Now she lands it. She's a little bit squishy at this point of time. Glorious Pathway once again trying to get her teammate out of the way, but not enough. And Angel will look at Queen as she goes down. Chao will kick her back into place as well with the Way of the Dragon. And then Crewfire just gonna use the ultimate to secure it, although Tian will give up her life for that kill. Dreams definitely doing a really good job at keeping Asterisk in check. 4 minutes in, they are leading by 3k, and that's gonna go up with the middle turret getting taken out. Meanwhile, rolling is about to complete that. I believe it's gonna be an endless battle, but Irene now in a lot of trouble. Tried to overstep her boundaries by going for the carry, and they set up the bait perfectly. Irene dropping that CC right behind the Chow just to catch her out of place, and now Tian in a bit of difficulty. Aurora does land the Icy Destruction, but I don't think that's enough. That Cold Devastation didn't have enough damage. Now Mickey one more hit away. Carry will secure the kill, and now they're pushing down onto the bot lane. And if you look at this lineup, this is what you should be doing against Asterisk. Just stuffing up the farm, going for those decisive push, forcing the issue onto those team fights. And even with the Uranus split pushing, there's just not enough push available on Asterisk's early game to take down those towers. Yes, you have the Granger, you have the Aurora, you have a decent amount of CC with the Chow, but early game wise, because of the rotation coming from Dreams, they're just 5-manning every single one of these fights. Look at that, and once again another 5-man down to mid, ready to take this fight. Glorious Pathway gonna get injured out of the fight just in time, but now the CC coming up. Sylvana does lock down the Aurora. I'm pretty sure Bubble Tea will go down here, and another solo kill coming in. Alright, not a solo kill, but they do manage to get one kill off Asterisk lineup, which is always nice. They steal the blue buff away. Endless battle gonna be completed by rolling. And the idea here, whoa, a lot of major items coming up. Endless battle completed for both the carry as well as the jaw hit. Sylvana's gonna be pick up her concentrated energy. And then we're gonna see the Nana complete the amulet as well. So that's just gonna, just negate a lot of the lifesteal that's coming off from the Granger. And I think the Necklace of Endurance is really more for the Uranus, just to negate the amount of lifesteal she has. Granger gonna be blowing up with the crit damage onto the jaw hit. They dive right onto the backline as well. They get the jaw hit, but I'm sure that Mickey going off it's a way more worth it trade, right? You take away the marksman, you slow down the farm, so pretty good trade. Uranus still split pushing onto the top side. 4k gold for Dreams. This could be quite a messy situation for Asterisk. They do dive in, but they do lose the Uranus before all of this happens. They drop the heal as well, and they do get the Krufa. So even with the heal, they keep their members up and healthy. Meanwhile, Asterisk definitely having a lot more issue with this draft compared to their previous opponents. Now Sylvana just casually diving on the backline. They do lose her, but they get the Chow. Gotta say, that was definitely worth it because they will secure the tier 2 mid turret as well. Mickey has to be careful about repeating the same mistake. Does back off in time, but in return they will lose that blue buff. Dreams definitely very objective focused right now. Jaw hit going in for the Uranus, will get knocked back.
Initiate retreat.
And I'm sure at this point, Dreams is just waiting for the lot to come up. They can go for another team fight if they want to, but at this point, all they have to do is just, repeat what they've been doing throughout, right? Just 5-man meet all the way. And if I'm Asterisk, the one hero that I'm really looking to shut down right now is the Sylvana. Like, I gotta say, they have been doing a good job at taking the Sylvana out, but they need to blow up even before the team fight happens, because most of the time the Sylvana's just jumping into someone. She's just like the scapegoat of this team. Go in, sacrifice your life, but you lock someone down long enough for the carry as well as the Nana to just blow anyone up. And although they don't really have too much AoE damage, they have such a decisive moment where when they go into someone, they immediately blow their person up, no hesitation. Whoever the Sylvana goes on, Nana throws the second skill down, they blow her up instantly, and then they focus on next target. which works really well because they have a carry. They can just stretch through the Uranus, and they also have the Necklace of Endurance, which negates all the regen that he wants to have through the passive. Blade of Despair coming up for the Jawhead. They do lose the Sylvana once again, which is what I've been trying to state. You know, the Southern Asterisk, the only hero that they've really been getting off the board is the Sylvana, but they need to do much more than that. They need to take the Sylvana off the board. They need to find a team fight where they can go past the Jawhead and the Hylos, who's sitting so tightly on top of this carry, and it's giving her all the freedom in the world to just farm. Chow has to be careful with positioning. If Joy decides to throw her teammate back here, and yes, she does! Instantly gets stunned up. They'll blow her up with the Jawhead stun. Didn't even need Sylvana there as well. So they know it's a 4v5. And they can pretty much just wait around the Lord's Pit. Kufra gonna run right into it. Once again, they're gonna throw Tian right back into place. They don't even have a lockdown, but they don't need to. Hylos soaking up a lot of unnecessary damage. That's more than good enough to distract Asterisk for the time being. Cold Devastation being pulled up from Aurora as well to stun up all three members there. That was the only reason why they won the fight, is because Bubble Tea did a really good ultimate to actually stun up 3 core members on the back line, while Hylos was just at the front by himself. So items wise, nothing too loud to shout about. Nana going for the Ice Cream one is pretty interesting. Aurora completing that Winter Truncheon just to provide a little bit more sustainability. It looks like we're going to see a no contest from Asterisk. I mean, they might want to contest this, but by the time they realize there's something's up, they would have gotten that Lord. So Glorious Pathway being laid out as well, and they might go for the counter engage. They already lost the Jawhead, so that might slow down the plans for now. Irene definitely a lot more cautious about face checking those bushes at this point in time, and it's gonna allow Dreams to just take all the jungle buffs away. I can't remember the last time that I've seen Carrie go for her own jungle buff. That's how long, or rather how dominating Dreams have been in the first half of the game. That being said, Asterisk do have a way back into this. All they have to do is get the Granger up to speed. Like I said, it's more about finding, following up after they get the kill onto Sylvana. Cold Devastation gonna be landing onto the backline. They do catch out the Nana, but that is not enough. Look at that, Hylos just soaking up all the damage. They get the Kruva off the board. And it's gonna be pretty much an uneven trade so far. Tian and Irene going down. Dreams forcing the issue here. They have Lord at half HP. They're gonna toss the Uranus out of the base. They get her off the board, and now I'm pretty sure it's gonna be GG. Creeps just flooding into it. They get the Aurora in, and that's gonna be game 1 going into Dreams' favor. Well, gotta say that was a pretty one-sided affair. Much to my surprise, I gotta say. I mean the carry pickup was basically what decided, or you can see Dreams just pushing constantly with this 5-man, and I didn't mention about Asterisk having a really good formation or rotation where, you know, they had this 3-man rotating around the Valor, and without the Valor you really do see that it doesn't really have that impact. Yes, you have the Aurora which has the CC and the damage needed, but she's not exactly like a Valor where you can just pop off, right? She's only got she constantly has to set up her passive in order to get the stun in, and she doesn't really have as much damage as compared to a Valor. She doesn't really have the slow, and you know she's not exactly the most a viable hero in this draft, in a sense where, you know, as compared to a Valor, you know, who can constantly find a fight anywhere, anytime. And the best part with Valor is that she has a push, and with the Valor out of the equation, you know, you can see Asterisk can't really get that going, can't really get that 3-man rotation going in the middle. So it really resorts to the Uranus having to split push all by himself, not really having the support that he really wants to have in this game. And that just kind of, you know, Dreams just basically identified the threat in the draft of Asterisk and just bullied them with this 5-man rotation, which is really a gamble, because if they failed to win that first team fight in the top lane, that could have been a really bad fight, because that would have meant that they were set back in terms of Uranus just split pushing bottom all the way. You know, they can't really take the top, they can't pressurize Asterisk, but you know, that really decisiveness in that moment where you saw the Hylos just laying on the glorious pathway, you know, taking out both the Kufa and the Chow, and then taking the top tier tower, tier 1 tower in the top lane, and then they follow up from there by going for objectives, you know, bullying Asterisk wherever it is, whether it's in the mid lane, the bot lane. They are just 5-manning every single fight, and that kind of forces Asterisk back. And by the time, you know, Asterisk gets Queen Bee, who's playing, or rather not Queen Bee, Queen Bee is actually Dream's lineup, but Asterisk, Mickey, who's playing the Granger. By the time, you know, Granger is able to get both the Endless Battle as well as the Blade of Despair, you pretty much have already lost every single tower. You know, there's a lot pushing down your wave, there's super minions coming out from every single lane, so that's really something scary to think about. With that being said, we'll go for a short break, but when we're back, we'll bring you game 2 between Dreams and Asterisk.
All that matters.
Killing spree! Monster kill! Double kill! Double kill! Legendary! Double kill! Mega kill! Executed! Double kill!
If only I could be
Legendary!
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Right, without further ado, let's just jump straight into the second game's draft. The players are ready. I'm ready. I'm sure you guys have been waiting for this. We are down to game number 2. And you can see in the scoreboard right now, we've got Dreams and Asterisk switching places. Dreams going to be playing on the blue side. And we've got Asterisk playing the red.
Your team is banning.
So we do see the Valen Digi ban out once again. Dreams definitely focusing a lot on target bans.
Your team is picking.
You can see them banning out those heroes that work out really well. Asterisk this time around, they want to ban out the carry as well as the Nana.
Rock. Your
So
team
both teams
is
banning
picking.
out all these heroes that are really good in early game. Like other than carry, Nana, Digi as well as Valor, they are pretty much supports that have decent amount of damage in them. And they most of the time just go for flame shot because that just adds on the damage to what they can already put out. And they're heroes that don't really need too much items. That is one key point that the viewers should understand. Like heroes that they are banning out here are heroes that don't need too much damage to come online. They have decent damage early game. You know, they have decent damage throughout the entire at whatever point in the game that you look at, they have the damage to put it out. And on top of it, there are heroes that have a lot of utility, right? You have the Valor with his CC and his slow. We've got Digi with the time reverse. He's got the stun. He's got CC immunity for his entire team. And then you've got Nana with Molina's gift, which means you have to kill her 2 times again. She's got the CC. But now let's take a look at the rest of the draft. For now, we got Dreams picking up the Grok as well as the Farsa, and they're gonna pick up the Sivana for the first phase of the pick. And for the Asterisk, they're gonna pick up the Jawhead Bruno as well as Uranus. So sticking to the guns right here, definitely still counting on the Uranus. But this time around, they definitely do get the Jawhead, which was kind of denied from them in the first game. I think they might just ban out. I mean, if the marksman picked up already, they pretty much will have to ban out the mage, right? They really ban out the fella, but this time around they want to ban out the Chow, which is understandable. Like they really ban out the fella, so I'm sure they're not too afraid of any of the mage that's put on the board. They really secured the Farsa for themselves, so they pretty much got a really good draft to lead into the second phase of the ban. I mean, for Asterisk, you gotta ban out marksman here. You have to ban out the Granger. Like, don't give them the Granger. Pretty much the only marksman that can kinda go long range and toe to toe with the Bruno. So yeah, they ban out the Granger. Pretty straightforward there. You pick up the Kufa, you pick up a really tanky draft. So I think this time around, Asterisk have a better draft. That's only for the first phase. I have to see what Dreams pick up for the last 2. But I'm guessing that you pick up. I would actually like to see them pick up a 1-1. I think 1-1 is pretty good. But Kimi works fine as well. The thing about Kimi is that she's really good in the first half of the game. She's one of those heroes where she's good early game. If she snowballs hard enough, she can carry an entire team in the late game. But you know, she's, as a personal Kimi user myself, when you get shut down in the early game, it's just so frustrating because even when you have items up, your damage just doesn't scale into the late game at all. Like, she's one of those heroes where it's you do well early game, that's it, you won the game. But if Asterisk can stop the Kimi early, then it's a nightmare for Dreams, because see what I did there? Nightmare. Dreams turns into nightmare because you do really have a lot of issue getting the Kimi to carry into late game. Even if you have a Farsa, even if you have a Sivana, I think if your Kimi gets shut down in the first half of the game, it's gonna be quite a handful to do. But let's take a look at the end of the draft. It looks like they're gonna pick up a Rafaela. Pretty, I wouldn't say surprising, but definitely something that you don't really see too often. So that's gonna be the draft for now. We're gonna see Reen play the Farsa, Rolling gonna be playing the Kimi, Queen playing the Sivana, and Grok gonna be played by Angel. And last but not least, we're gonna be seeing Joy play the Leomord. Whereas on the side of Asterisk, They're gonna be playing
All troops deployed.
the Jawhead, Bruno, Uranus, Kufra, as well as the Rafaela. So Dreams and Asterisk pretty much doing the same thing at this point, that 1-3-1 formation. And looks like they're going straight for the invade. Wow, Joy just picking up the first blood. I'm not sure what happened there, but Joy pretty much got the kill. And look at the amount of flame shots in contrast to what Asterisk have. Like 4 flame shots on the side of Dreams, whereas on the side of Asterisk, they pick up 4 flicker. So they're looking to just dive onto both the Kimi as well as the Fsl. Whereas this is a super aggressive lineup coming from Dreams. They will want to end the game early. They pick up 4 flame shots, which means they're always ready for a team fight. And given how much magical damage they have on this side, if they run this draft right, we could see this game end even before 15 minutes. Pretty much, I think 10 to 12 minute mark would be good for Dreams. So they're just following through with what they had in plan, similar to what we saw in the first game. You know, pressure the side lanes. Meanwhile, onto the top side, they've already started the siege. Bruno now hitting onto the Leomord. But the creep's gonna run out, and that's gonna slow down their push by a bit. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the map, we're gonna see Angel as well as the rest of the team just force their way through. Pretty sure they will secure this tier 1 on both sides. And looks like Asterisk wants to go for more. I mean, they can, but that creep is gonna die out. That's gonna not allow them to push any further. Meanwhile, Kufra still stuck in his own world against Joy. Joy doing a good job at pushing the Kufra backwards, which is what I think happened to Uranus in that first blood. Meanwhile, we do see Rin pushing down the bot lane. They did manage to get a kill onto Irene.
Turtle resurrecting soon.
And I like this. I like the fact that, you know, they put Angel into the brush, you know, scout out any members from Asterisk that's pushing in. As contrast to, you know, just having 4 members push the bot lane and then not having someone to really scout out for them. And the thing about Grog is that she can always just use the wild charge to get out of trouble, even if Asterisk tries to bring him down. So that's always nice to have. Asterisk are doing a really good job at pressuring the lanes. However, we do see them slacking a little bit in terms of pressure right now. Both teams now just going back to farming ways. And we haven't really seen the impact of that 4 flame shots just yet. Yes, they can blow up anyone. We saw them do that in the bot lane against the Jawhead, but I want to see that impact happen in the game. And I think Gideon, who's one of the casters for MPL, has addressed this before. He feels that, you know, flame shots just hurting the game meta because everyone's just gonna pick flame shots, right? Really low cooldown, high damage killing, and just something that you really don't want to go against. And now Tian jumping right onto the Leomord, which is the target that they want. They finally get the first, but look at that, look at those flame shots coming right through. A lot of heroes already down to half HP, and maximum charge not landing onto anyone there, which is a pity because I think if they actually landed onto the Bruno, they might be able to, you know, continue into the fight, because that would have put Asterisk onto the back foot. And I'm sure they wouldn't be as aggressive as they are right now. Bruno and the rest of Asterisk gonna secure the mid lane. And now they're gonna start taking up the turtle at the same time. It's gonna be a no contest. While at this, meanwhile, we've got the rest of Asterisk still farming up those lanes. Got Dream is gonna be doing the same thing. Dream's definitely not playing as aggressive as they should, right? You have the Kimi and you have the Farsa. You should be pushing out those lanes, but now we've got Asterisk in a little bit of trouble right now. Farsa catching them out. Tian dropping really low. Rin just jumping around the moment she uses the ultimate, and that's what you get with Farsa, right? The moment she has the ultimate down, you don't really have anything much. Queen B gonna be locking someone down with the second skill, but here we go. Farsa ultimate once again ready to go. They should be able to secure this kill to Uranus, but that should be all. I don't think they can get anything more out of the fight. Meanwhile, bot lane Joy going up against the Jawhead. Props to Asterisk, they are doing the right thing here, pressuring those two lanes, and now they're looking to steal the rip buff, but I think that's just a little bit too tough with the Jawhead just by himself.
Healing for everyone.
I mean, this Fsl draft is something that I wouldn't say is throwing me off, but it is a very intriguing pick. I would have thought that they decide to go for something else. I think even
Turtle
picking a
resurrecting
Camille
soon.
would have been something that I felt like was within Asterisk's comfort zone. But no, they decide to go for something really out of meta, which is the Fsl. So it's gonna provide sustain and heal. It's a lot more team utility compared to Camille. And with the Jawhead down, now they're looking to take a fight. Sylvana now, first one to go in. They managed to get the kill onto the Grok. But look at that, Tian being pushed back by both the majors. I'm sure she definitely does want to contest this one. I'm not sure why though, they could have just gone for it. They get the stun off, but Tian will burn the flicker just to get out of time. Meanwhile, bot lane, Uranus and the Leomord coming to a standstill. I don't think any of them can really do anything. It's pretty much a stalemate between these two heroes, right? Because Uranus just really good at cutting waves, soaking up damage, and then Leomord's just really good at doing the same exact thing, right? I mean, not so much on the soaking damage portion, but I mean, there's really nothing that the Uranus can do to kill the Leomord, and same goes for the Leomord, vice versa. Erase this now. A little bit of trouble. Has to back off. But not too bad there. She did manage to pull Joy's ultimate. Like I said, Dream's definitely playing a bit slower as compared to the previous game. And this is where I think, Kimi has kind of lost the thread. And like I said, this is the risk that you have when you pick up the Kimi. And Farsa's going to drop the ultimate right now. Irene in a little bit of trouble. Looking to gang someone, and this is where the mistake has led. But now Krufa stunning up both the Farsa as well as the Leomord. They get the first one off the board, and Mickey's right there. I think she used the ultimate at the right time, did manage to pick them up. Mickey playing a little bit greedily, tried to go for Rin. They will trade both the tanks out. Meanwhile, Sylvana in a 1v1 against the Uranus, which is about to turn into a 3v3. So that was a both teams just going at it. They trade both the tanks, they trade both the off-laners. But at the end of it all, end of the day, they don't really lose much. I mean, both teams just trying to make something happen on the map right now, trying to hopefully get a gank off. So as we approach the 10-minute mark, we've got Dreams still leading with a 5k goal lead. And Lord come is pretty much the next objective on the map. They managed to stun up the Uranus, but not enough damage to do anything at all. Meanwhile, Krufar running straight into Angel. They want to get the stun up and the wall has been laid, but they immediately stun the Farsa out of ultimate. That's not enough. They do keep the Uranus, but that is not all. They also lose the Sylvana. And Irene now getting pushed back. That is good coming off the Leomon. Joy dropping really low. Rafaela coming a little bit late to the party. Mickey with the stun, or rather with the crit. Just enough, but Rin pulls off a huge ultimate. They get a double kill. And this could be the turning point for them. They get 10 off the board as well. That is a 4 kill for their troubles. But this is only the beginning. They still need to win at least one more team fight before making any significant damage onto the goal lead that Dreams have, or rather Asterisk have. It's a 5k goal lead for Asterisk. And you can see that, you know, that fight did definitely put a little bit of a dip in the goal lead, but Asterisk still really healthy as of now. Scarlet Phantom coming up onto the Bruno. So they definitely want to get a little bit more attack speed on the Bruno, you know, just to get him, Mickey's crit up. So how Bruno's passive really works is that, you know, every single attack he does, it increases his crit chance up to 20%. So it's a 5 stacks. When he gets those 5 stacks at max, it's 20% increase for the 1 crits to happen. Both teams trying to get their hyper carries on the board, but right now it looks like Farsa did the right thing right there, trying to harass it. They do lose Angel, and they will even lose the Leomon, which is a big turn of events because they did a good thing by taking out the Jawhead. I think they should have just disengaged right there, but they committed too deep into the fight, losing both the Leomon and the Grog. But then again, good effort coming up from Tien to catch the members out of position. Sylvana does manage to land onto the Bruno. That is well played coming from Quinby. And now they can really turn this fight around. They've already cleared the Lord. And they're sticking right onto Tien. No way out for her.
Killing spree.
Quinby looking for the next victim and the opponent's jungle, but there's this 3-man once again coming right through, with Grog just defending onto the backline, and they blow the Rafaela up. She has immortality, but she's just gonna die instantly once she gets revived. 32 seconds without the Rafaela, 8 more seconds before the Krufar comes up, and I'm pretty sure they can push all the way down to the base. Lord coming up in 30 seconds, and they should be setting up a gang right here. Oh, he tries to go on the Bruno, but where is the backup? She's all alone. Quimby might have to sacrifice her life for it, but it doesn't matter. The long range assaults coming in from both Rin as well as Rolling with the maximum charge and the ultimate of the Farsa is more than enough to just push the rest of Asterisk back. That could have been a really bad fight coming in, because if they had lost to Sylvana, it's gonna be a 5v4. You know, Asterisk then can kind of just go for the Lord uncontested, and even if, you know, Dreams decides to contest for this, they could have just lost more members in that process. So a little bit of a fortunate situation for Dreams, not so much for Asterisk. good wall coming up from the Grok, gonna be stunning up the Bruno. They isolate the Kufra away from the rest of the battle. They burn the immortality. Shyvana once again dropping right onto Mickey. That's gonna be a 2-man kill onto Tien as well. And now they're looking to push this one. They don't even have to push. They can straight away go for the Lord. And that once again, Queen Bee making the plays by catching out the Bruno time and time again. You can see Uranus just trying her luck, trying to steal away that Lord, and they do get it. They get the Lord. They sacrifice the Uranus, but that is a good gamble, because that's gonna summon the super minions for the waves that the Lord is alive. That is 2 waves, and I'm sure if I'm Dreams, I'm gonna be kicking myself right now. That Lord could have been the game-ending push, but no. Uranus coming in, and AS Evolov doing such a good job at, you know, just taking the Lord away. But once again, Queen Bee landing the Imperial Justice onto the Bruno. Those 2 times that she caught out the Bruno is the reason why Dreams have had a chance in this game. And the Lord pushing down right now. It looks like the tables have turned. They take down the Lord pretty quickly. Irene taking quite a bit of damage, but still Asterisk trying to end this game by patrolling right on the outskirts of the base of Dreams. Fsl's ultimate down for 20 seconds meanwhile. And Asterisk is just having a little bit of an issue pushing into space. They are slowly chipping away at the HP of this towers through Bruno's crit. And the key thing to note right now is that as long as the Bruno doesn't get caught out by Queen Bee's cosmetic Emperor Justice, then Asterisk should have this game in the hand. So this time round, they're gonna be landing onto the wrong target. They try to go on the Kufra, but look at that, Leomon just desperately trying to get to Mickey, but that's not enough. The heal comes out, and this time round, Asterisk will not make a mistake. They get 3 men off the board, and not only that, they keep all 5 still alive. And even though both the Farsa is alive, as well as the Kimi, I think there's just too much damage on the board of Asterisk. Tien once again letting a 2-man stun. They keep the creep alive, and Mickey's just gonna pretty much end the game right here. So I can't say that I'm too surprised by the outcome of that. If you look at the builds right now, you've got the Kimi, who's decided to go for full magic damage. And you've got the glowing wand, the genius wand, and then you also have the ice cream wand. So a lot of wands, on the board. But yeah, what I'm trying to just pretty much say is that, you know, you have this all-in mentality from Dreams, who's trying to just lay all the damage early game, but I felt like they didn't really utilize the Kimi too much, or rather to the maximum potential. yes, the meta right now is that 131, that hyper, high carry where you buy 4 masks and try to get the game going. But I felt like that was just a little bit too much. That was just too much that Dreams had to handle, right? You had to burn through the Kufra, you had to burn through the Jawhead, and then there's also the Rafaela that's constantly healing the team up, and on top of it, like the only reason why Dreams had a chance in that game was because if you look at how Queen Bee is set up, she's just constantly trying to catch up the Bruno, and the 2 times that Asterisk lost the fight was just because the Sylvana managed to land the ultimate onto the Bruno, so that just allowed them to blow the Bruno up, and without the Bruno there was really not enough damage on Asterisk's draft. But that being said, all good things must come to an end, and when Asterisk just gathered up for a proper team fight, Sylvana landed on the wrong hero. I'm not sure if she accidentally targeted on Tien, who's playing the Kufra. That was just a mistake with Queen Bee down. They don't really have a target they can dive on the backline. I mean, Joy is the second target they can dive, but you could see Joy desperately trying to get the Bruno off the board, and the moment both Joy and Queen Bee died, that you don't really have someone that can dive onto the Bruno. So that being said, it's going to be a 1-1. We'll go for, once again, another short break, but when we're back, we'll bring you game 3. Remember, it's going to be BO5. So both of these teams or these goals have to get 2 more games in the bag before we can get to know who our grand champions are. We'll go for a short break, and I'll see you right after this.
My aim is impeccable! Blind confidence will get you nowhere. If only I could be taller. My aim is impeccable! To me, fun is all that matters.
Killing spree! Monster kill! Double kill! Double kill! Legendary! Double kill! Mega kill! Executed! Double kill!
If only I could be taller.
Legendary!
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Alright, thank you much for waiting. We are finally back with the third game. Remember, this is a BO5. So both of these teams have to get their game tree in hand to, be crowned as the grand champions for the FSL MVP competition. Remember, they are fighting for a grand prize. In first place for 4,000 ice, rather diamonds. Sorry, not ice. 4,000 diamonds. Right. And second place will get 2,000 diamonds, and third and fourth will get 1,000 diamonds each. So both Alpha Gaming as well as Team are already guaranteed 1,000 diamonds, whereas for both of these teams in Asterisk and Dreams, they already guaranteed 2,000 diamonds. The winner will get 4,000, so that's double the price available for them. But for now, let's jump straight into draft. We've got Digi as well as Vela banned out. We've got Krufa and Carry, so pretty similar, except that there's a little bit of a change. Instead of Nana getting banned out, it's a Krufa. So Asterisk is going to pick up the Nana, they pick up the Joy, the Grok as well, which is pretty similar to what we saw in the previous draft. While Dreams will stick to that Savannah pick. They also pick up the Bruno as a first pick. So at this point, they ban out the... Oh, this is pretty interesting. They actually let through the Granger, so they're just going to be banning out the Leomod. In this case, if you're Asterisk, you do ban out. I was about to say, you could ban out a Mage, but they chose to ban out the Hylos, which is pretty okay, because most of the games that we have seen so far, we've seen Hylos, we've seen the same old heroes. Asterisk going for a Uranus. I think I can count on one hand the amount of heroes that we usually see being rotated. Other than that, it's always we always see Jawhead, we see the Grogs, we see Sylvana, Velos always ban out, so those are the heroes that are always being rotated through and through. Tamus, it's for the first time we might see a Tamus. We saw a Tamus yesterday as well, but for today it is the first Tamus of the grand finals as well as the semis. And we will definitely see an Archive as well as a Farsa. So I was about to say banning out the Farsa would be a good idea, but I guess Hylos works as well. You don't want too much of a frontliner. But Dreams, they also have a really huge hero pool, so they pick up the Archive. They can put the Petrify onto the Archive, which means more CC available for them. 2 flame shots on the Sylvana as well as the Farsa. Well, looks like there's gonna be an Aegis onto the 1/1. So once again, it's going to be a time race for Dreams to try to end the game as early as possible.
Welcome to Mobile Legends! 5 seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield. Smash them! All troops deployed!
So remember, this is only the third game, just another reminder that this is a best of 5 for the grand finals. So once again, we're gonna see 4 masks pretty much on both teams, just to get the hyper carry going along for the 1/1 as well as the Bruno. A little bit late there. I'm sure if she actually released like a couple of seconds earlier, she could have just stolen the blue buff away. Akai gonna be laning alongside the Farsa as the Bruno, as we've seen throughout the competition, this 1-3-1 formation. Asterisk is going to be doing the same exact thing as well. Sylvana not level 4 as of now, so not able to, you know, stun up anyone. Spoonbill is coming up for Irene just to help her with the rotation across the map. And looks like they're waiting to hit the level for most of the heroes right there. Uranus taking quite a bit of damage, especially from the far side, as well as the Bruno's crit. That's going to be the first blood available on the Sylvana. And they nearly get the return kill onto the 1-1 with Fastest ultimate. So they don't manage to push the top lane, but you know, Asterisk should be pretty happy with that. They walk away with the first blood, apply a bit of pressure onto the top side. You've got this case of the Sylvana and the Uranus, similar to what we saw in the first game, where it was more of the Uranus against, I believe it was against the not Jawhead, but against the Leomord, where they pretty much couldn't do anything to each other. I think this is quite a similar case, although you do see a little bit of harassment on the Sylvana because of the Justice Lens. I'm sure with the Tamus currently hitting that level 5, whenever Queen Bee just feels threatened, all she has to do is just kind of pop that Corteran Inferno, and she pretty much will heal up to full HP in the 1v1, so she doesn't really have to worry too much against the Jawhead. Although Jawhead and his missiles will definitely come into effect if and only if Irene does manage to land onto someone into the backline. You can see ASF a lot of trying to put a lot of pressure on the top lane by cutting those waves. Meanwhile, bot lane, Farsa ultimate not being able to reach out just in time. They get the kill onto Rin, and the wild charge as well to knock Queen Bee up. Like I said, pops out the ultimate, gets back into healthy state. Hurricane dance just to push Mickey away, but Mickey's just one more hit away from getting away, or rather getting the kill onto Queen Bee. A little bit out of range, but that's okay. They will probably just go for the turtle, or maybe not. Maybe pushing mid's a better idea with Archive still lingering around. It's also important to note that Flame Shot does give a little bit of a push, so if you do manage to push the Farsa out, you can just immediately interrupt her ultimate. Tian once again trying to harass her opponents. And just got out any opponents that's trying to come up for the turtle, which Asterisk will secure through Mickey. And if you look at the way, you know, Dreams play, I really do feel that something switched after game 1. Like they haven't been playing exactly the same. You see, or maybe it's just Asterisk stepping up to play. They definitely do a lot better in terms of rotation right now as compared to game 1, where we saw, you know, Dreams being very aggressive and bullying Asterisk throughout all 3 lanes by, you know, sticking as a 3-man squad, but or rather 4 to 5-man squad even still. But this time around it's a lot different. You can see, you know, Asterisk a lot more comfortable with dealing this lineup, and in fact they are the ones that are just pressuring Dreams. Right now in mid you do see Tian, Bubble Tea as well as Mickey pushing down onto the middle lane. They even need Tamus to come up to mid lane, which does give Uranus a bit of a breathing space. And I think this could be a sacrifice. They don't have the Hurricane done, so I mean she has the Hurricane dance, but the Frog Leap was a little bit too far. You can see Uranus just jumping away the second skill as well, so it's gonna be Uranus fine for now. I'm not sure if she actually wants to be there. A bit of a misplay, but that's fine because you see Asterisk pushing onto both the top as well as the middle lane. So they do lose the Jawhead, but it isn't the worst loss there so far. Asterisk still leading with a 2k goal lead 7 minutes in. And that probably is going to be another total for Asterisk. Me trying to scout the opponents. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be able to secure that blue buff, and not only that, you can see 1-1 trying to stack up those stacks. Wild charge coming in to knock both the members up, but it's not enough. They lost the Savannah, and now the Bruno's crit comes through. They will get Tian and Mickey off the board, and they want to go for more. They might be able to catch up to Nana, who has Molina gift, gets her out of trouble just in time. But it's just out of range. But Rin, sneaky little ultimate right there, catches Nana at the edge of the her ultimate, and she will pick up 3 kills for her team. Or rather, not she, but Dreams in general will pick up 3 kills. And they just might be able to secure this tier 2 turret. Gets tossed back. That's the target that they wanted. The wall comes up, but Queen's Bee probably just gonna hop over it. Pretty decent trade so far, although they do have to sacrifice a few members along the way. And we do see 1-1 building into the Demon Hunter sword right now. Probably will build into golden stuff. She not too bad of itemization, pretty standard. Corrosive Scythe, reading a Demon Hunter sword, and then building into golden stuff. But right now, bot lane, we might see some action happening. Right, Queen Bee getting taken out. Group gang coming from Asterisk to apply pressure, and we do see a similar situation happening on the opposite end of the map, with Dreams taking out the Uranus. Difference is Asterisk is already pushing into the tier 3 tower. And look how quickly they're shredding the HP off. Another toss, and Joy instantly gets busted up. The threat of the Joy is just too much at this point. Like, if you're not careful, or you know, if you're alone, Irene can just toss you up to your teammates. And this is what we saw with Sivana. She just wanted to push Asterisk away, but you know, Joy just flips her back into where 1-1 and Nana is, and it's just an easy kill for them. "10 minutes in, we do see the goal lead potentially increasing even more. They do have a 7 goal lead for now, 7k goal lead. The Antiquary is coming up for the Archive, so that's gonna help them soak up a little bit more damage. And at this point, Asterisk, all they have to do is just play a little bit patient, wait for the super minions to kind of push into the top and middle wave. You can see, I'm sure, you know, they're pretty much ready to sacrifice either the Grog or the Uranus, and I'm sure Rin didn't mean to pop, or maybe she did, but that ultimate form was a little bit too early. It's not going to be available for the next team fight, and that's going to allow Asterisk to just drag those creeps across and push that middle and top wave. Lord's already down, but the tier 3 tower, it's all about that. The wild charge comes in. And they do manage to pick up the archive, but Asterisk members are dangerously low. They managed to get the shutdown, and that's gonna be a double kill. You can see Fsl not having the ultimate, but thanks to, you know, Bruno being able to farm up quite a bit coming into the late game. See, Endless Battle already completed. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be going into a Berserker's Fury. Already he has already got a Berserker's Fury, so that's a Berserker Fury and Endless Battle already up. Meanwhile, both teams are just waiting for the next slot to come up. I mean, for Asterisk, all they have to do is really wait for either a good gang onto the Bruno or the Fsl. And for the side of Dreams, they have to force a team fight here, because if they just wait in base, all Asterisk have to do is just wait for the Lord to come up, take the Lord, you know, force a mistake out coming up from Dreams, and they can pretty much just, you know, end with the Lord pushing in, and the super minion waves as well coming in from the top lane, which allows them to pick up the tier 3 turret. Whereas on the side of Dreams, they have to do so much more right now. They have to force a team fight, you know, try to pick up the 1-1, but they don't really have someone that can die from the 1-1. Yes, Sylvana can, but look at the draft that's being put up by Asterisk. They have a Jawhead, they have a Grog, they have a Uranus. There's just a little bit too much to dive on. A little bit of harassment from the Jawhead onto the Thomas. Don't think they will pursue that. Lord coming up in 30 seconds. If Dreams want to make a play now, this will be a good time. Asterisk just stalking the prey right outside the base of Dreams. And like I said, when it comes to the Tamus versus Joy, it's pretty much a stalemate. But things definitely do change quite a bit when it comes to a team fight, where, you know, the Jawhead definitely just wants to flip someone onto the back line. Look at that 1.4k. You definitely do not want to be on the back end of that, especially if you're carry like a 1-1 or Nana. But Asterisk's front line has definitely been doing a fantastic job at making sure they can't dive on the back. You can see Joy now jumping onto the ultimate, but not being able to land on the right target. They land to Uranus, that's going to be burned. Meanwhile, Tian's doing a good job at keeping himself alive while doing decent amount of damage with the wall charge as well as the wall to keep your opponents at bay. And now they might be even able to get the archive. But more importantly, Asterisk will secure that Lord not contested. And the goalie at this point in time doesn't really matter, because, you know, most of the items have already been up for the cause of Dreams. Although we do see the Bruno building into the last item, I suspect that, or rather I predict that she's going to build into a Blade of Despair, but, you know, no time for that, because the Lord's already pushing into the middle lane. You can see Jawhead now flipping the Fsl out. Good target onto the Rin. Irene now getting taken out by the Bruno, but that is a fair trade, because you got the wall coming right through. Sylvana with the Justice Lance trying to do as much damage as possible onto the Lord, but I'm pretty sure this is it. It's going to be 2 more hits from it, and Asterisk will secure their second game of this BO5. A huge win for them. And this is definitely a lead that they want to have. It's always nice to have that, you know, 1 game extra over your opponent, because, you know, you definitely feel a lot more comfortable going into what potentially could be the last game of the matchup, because, you know, you have that one, you can play a little bit more freely. But if, you know, Dreams have any tricks up their sleeves, now is the time to do so. Let's go through the itemization, shall we? Not too much to really break down. I mean, Bubble Tea going for basically being the mage of the game, which is what I really dislike, right? I compared to what I saw coming out from the side of I believe it was Alphette Gaming, when we saw Mama Grey playing on the Nana. But that being said, it worked out for them because at the end of the day, Mickey is the true carry of the team. They are trying to get this 1-1 hyper carry going up for them. And it did work, right? It definitely did work out for them. But I just don't really like Nana as a mage. That being said, the meta is a little bit different because they are playing as a 3-man rotation. The Nana is really playing more of a support mage role, so she doesn't really need too much of damage. You can see her going for the mana regen boots because she doesn't really need that that magical penetration. All she has to do is just make sure that she stays alive, drop that second skill to stun people up. Whoever the jaw hit flips, she just needs to get the CC in, provide harassment, slow with her ultimate, and let the 1-1 do the real damage. So that's pretty much it, what we're seeing coming up from the team. You can see the damage output coming up from teams as well. Pretty much speaks the entire game. With that being said, we'll go for a short break, but when we are back, we'll bring you game number 4 between these two teams.
The warm feel of my passion burning! Woohoo! You feel that? Hey, very nice kick! I'm on top of the world!
Killing spree! Mega kill!
You feel that? Ha!
You have slain an enemy! Launch attack! Legendary!
Ha!
Double kill!
Ha!
Legendary!
I'm on top of the world! Hey!
First blood!
Download for free Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Alright, so let's just jump straight into the draft because the players are ready. I mean, I've never expected them to be so ready, but now we are already into the second or the first phase of the draft, or the pick phase. We already seen the Bruno as well as the Joy being banned out on the side of Asterisk, and whereas for Dreams, they have banned out the Chow as well as the Valor. So they pick up the Grok as well as the Diggy. They also secure the Granger for themselves, whereas the Asterisk to get the carry Uranus as well as the Nana. You can see that they really want to pick up the Uranus because you know it's a hero that's really good from the start of the game, where he's not the easiest hero to break down, especially in the 1v1. And if you meet a hero that does a lot of physical damage, it's fine because he can just soak all of that up. Decent magical damage output, you know, something that not much tanks have. They have burst, but he's a hero that does a lot of damage over time. So the longer that you stay to fight with him, the more he's just gonna regen and you know, break you down. Whereas for the side of Dreams, they're gonna have that Sylvana pick the Knight away from them, and they're gonna ban out the Kufa, which is pretty good. I think the correct pick right now, I was gonna say an offlaner. I was gonna be saying Chow, but Chow's already banned out, so Leomord is pretty much a good pickup. Asterisk though, they can pick up the, I mean, Archive's still available. Archive's actually pretty decent to push away the Leomord and the Grok. But that being said, I don't think I have seen Asterisk play Groks or rather Archive so far. Only Dreams. So they pick up the Camille as well as the Xbox. So it's gonna be Uranus on the top lane, or rather the bottom lane, and then they're gonna put the Xbox onto the top side. We're gonna see the Camille as well as the Nana and carry rotate Treeman. Aside for Dreams, they pick up the Tamus to complete their lineup. So they will probably put the Grok, the Digi as well as the Granger to rotate around, while the Leomord and Tamus are gonna split push. So that pretty much is the draft that's gonna be happening for now. Remember, this could potentially be the last game if Asterisk pick this game up. Then it's pretty much them who's gonna be crowned the grand champions of this Fsl Mlbb tournament.
Welcome to Mobile Legends. 5 seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield. Smash them. All troops deployed.
Remember, once again, a big shout out to Super Solid, Yahoo, as well as Dreamcore for being our sponsors and partners for this competition. Just to remind you guys what these girls and ladies are fighting for. They are fighting for a top prize of 4,000 diamonds. Second place gets 2,000, and third and fourth will walk away with 1,000. Uranus doing a good job at pushing down the bot lane as always. Really stable laner, nothing to really complain about. Meanwhile, we do see the Grok, or the Angel, trying to harass a little bit Bubble Tea, trying to pursue the issue. Has to be careful but not overstepping their boundaries. You can see the side of Dreams definitely want to turn this around. Bubble Tea's lucky to get out because of the Molina's gift. Meanwhile, top lane, Irene is looking to harass with the Xbox. You can see Asterisk now looking to set up a gank. Oh, ran through it on the wrong side, and they're gonna get the first blood. Not only that, they might be able to get Angel out as well. Bubble Tea, not enough damage, still at level 3 because you know, they decide to go for that. It's a 4 mask lineup on both sides. Oh, it's a 5 mask lineup on both sides. Or rather, 5 masks on Asterisk lineup and 4 on Dream. So pretty surprising.
Turtle resurrecting
Well,
soon.
Camille trying to harass the opposition and the jungle. Xbox gonna be spotting Thomas and DG out. The next fight is gonna decide who picks up the turtle. So they spot out that the Uranus is missing, which is why the little one actually just comes back to the jungle. And they even summon Steed, but I'm sure that, you know, they won't not be able to pick this up because of the ultimate. But you know, Uranus does a good job at dragging 3 members out onto the bottom lane, which means that, you know, Asterisk is gonna pick up a free turtle, and not only that, they will get the kill onto the Grok as well. But look at that, Tamus as well. The rest of the teams have already converged. They get the kill onto Tien as well as Mickey. But that's gonna allow ASF, or rather the Uranus, to just push onto the bot lane. So that's gonna be 3 members of Dreams revealing themselves onto the top side. Uranus knows that she can pretty much push the bottom lane safely. Camille gonna be joining up the rest of the team in the middle of this lane. I like the fact that they pick up the Xbox, because, you know, Xbox is one of those heroes where it will always stay relevant even without items. I should probably go for the Bloodlust X as the first item. Now Angel in the midst of all of them. Look at that, the burst damage coming out with the ultimate of the Nana. And not only that, they might be able to get the Diggy as well. Rolling, not able to have the angle to land the rest of these shots. Which means the Uranus will get away scot-free. And that's gonna be Last Insanity coming up from the Xbox. Immediately blows up the Tamus. And they will secure the top tier, top lane turret as well. I can see that this is definitely working out for Asterisk, right? This is where their comfort zone really lies, you know, pulling opponents out of position, which is what they did to a lot of their opponents. Although they lose the Uranus, that's not really a bad, like a huge loss. They 6 more seconds before he comes up. They're putting pressure in the mid. They might lose 10 due to an over engagement, but they can actually pick up even more. Look at that, you see the back line right now. Xbox comes in, blows them up at the back. They even get a triple kill onto the carry. And good rotation coming from Irene, popping up from nowhere. You know, flickers right onto the back line. Uses the ultimate in a really good spot. I mean, they could have, she could have been a bit greedy, and actually tried to kill the Grok. But she spotted out the right position to actually go back. Like, she might just die here because Digi's just gonna drag her back. But what a play that was, coming in with the ultimate, you know, recognizing the fact that, you know, there's even more potential to go into the backline with the to hit as many members as you can. SF has to worry about the positioning. Same goes for Queen who doesn't really have as much mobility as the Uranus, who gets a movement speed boost when he uses his ultimate. And now Asterisk and the rest of them are gonna push down the middle lane, where Uranus will slow down the push coming out from Dreams. They trade tier 2 for tier 1, which is definitely way more worth it in my opinion, or in anybody's opinion for the matter of fact. And they also pick up the red buff from Dreams jungle. See the lead slowly headed towards the 6k mark. They've already gone past the 5k. Blade of Despair up for Leom, for the Granger. But is that enough? You see a 4-man pushing down to bot lane with the help of the Uranus pushing down or cutting those waves. Meanwhile, top side, Irene doing a good job at harassing Queen Bee. And that's the thing about Xbox, right? I mean, damage aside, the fact that the moment he gets max stacks, he starts doing pure damage, that hurts quite a bit. And now Uranus taking onto Diggy. Diggy dropping almost to a quarter HP just below. It will secure the kill to get the Grok as well. And here comes Xbox once again, popping up from nowhere, using the flicker at the right time. And that's gonna allow them to secure that triple kill. And I'm pretty sure they will get this tier 3 turret in the middle lane. Meanwhile, the rest of Asterisk is gonna be cutting all the waves that comes up from the base, which means that's gonna allow the creeps to push right in. Immediately goes for the bottom tier 3 turret. And now not only that, they will go for more. They want to get a kill onto Queen Bee, who has no time to get the regen up, even with the ultimate on active. And look at that, Uranus just jumping onto the backline. He will sacrifice the life for it, which I felt was a little bit needless, but at this point with Asterisk so far ahead in terms of goal lead, it doesn't really matter, even if they give 1 or 2 kills away. So the other thing about picking up a Uranus in your lineup is that you force the opponents to, or rather someone in the opposing team, to actually build a Necklace of Endurance, which actually gets picked up by Rin, who's playing the Digi. So the reason why you want your Necklace of Endurance is that it does help with making sure that your opponents don't get the regen. It kind of negates it reduces the regen effect on your opponents, which is really important for Uranus, because that's really ultimately the essential part of his kit, is that he's able to regen, soak up damage, and still die from the backline without having to worry about taking too much. Tian and ASF trying to keep their opponents away by forming a invisible barrier. They will successfully take the lot, and that's gonna be super minions coming up, not only in the middle and bot, but as well as the top, because of the lot effect. And now with the lot coming in, look at that. Because of the fact that there is this minion over here, it's gonna allow them to stack up their waves. Although if that wave came in at an earlier timing, that would be a perfect situation for Asterisk. But at this point of time, Asterisk being patient, waiting for the creeps to push in. Look at that, the wave clear, and once again Xbox freely just walks into the back line. Doesn't even have to use this flicker this time round. And with the Lord's help, they will secure that win for them. This is it. Asterisk, they are your grand champions of the Fsl Mlbb tournament. And what can I say? Pretty straightforward. Look at that. That convincing goal lead available for Asterisk. 66% of the damage dealt from Dreams is by the Granker, but it wasn't enough. Just falling a little bit short. If that being said, I mean, it has been an interesting game so far. I mean, that third game itself is pretty much one-sided, and it really came down to Asterisk having a lot of freedom in the draft and able to just pick up whatever heroes they want. You know, they have a really huge hero pool, and that also comes with the experience of Tian, you know, playing the MPL. You know, she's always constantly in the front line. She knows, you know, the boundaries of her hero she's playing, and in that game, you know, you do see her playing the Camille absolutely fantastic. You know, going in the right time, you know, trying to take up as much damage as possible for the opponent, and then when the Xbox comes, which is always the turning point in the fight, every single time you see Tian dropping really low, soaking a lot of damage, that allows Irene to just jump in the backline with the Xbox ultimate when no one is kind of noticing, and it absolutely just catches, you know, Dreams off guard. And by the time, you know, towards the late game, even if you're looking after the Xbox, there's just so much arsenal in, you know, Asterisk kit that they don't really have anything to deal with. So that being said, congratulations once again to Asterisk. They will walk away with 4,000 diamonds, whereas on the side of Dreams, they will be walking away with 2,000, which still isn't too bad. You know, congratulations to them for coming in second place, and that, you know, for Team and Alphette Gaming, they walk away with 1,000 diamonds each. Once again, a big shout out to our sponsors and partners, you know, Dreamcore, Super Solid, and Yahoo for making this possible. Big shout out to FSL for organizing the tournament. Remember, we also will have the other regions have their competition going on. I believe it's Myanmar and Philippines. We will update you with the date as well as the rest of the FSL circuit. We'll try to get that up and going. You know, it's the COVID-19 situation. We're not sure when we can update you. So remember, if you want to find out more about the FSL circuit, you can follow us on our social media on Facebook and Instagram as well. Do remember to give the stream a like and share this with your friends. If you missed out any of the rest of the games, you can watch the VODs as the games goes on. My name is Aris, and it has been a fun time casting this game. I hope you guys have fun listening to me as well, and I'll see you next time around.